Monday evening. YouTube. What up? Twitter. That's weird because I try to get people like follow and subscribe on YouTube. You can watch it on Twitter. On Twitter, can you see when we put stuff up? Like, I don't think they can see the comments that we put up. I don't know. That never actually went and watched. That's part of the fun of watching on YouTube is that you can comment and we can put your comments up. Like, RJ's still hungover from the 4th. I'm not hungover from the 4th. But I'm still tired from it. Alright, what's up, everybody? We have so much to talk about. Sixers, 1 second. Phillies, 7 all-stallers. Lost 2 or 3 to the Braves. The Howard Eskin situation. I have something to say about that. Coming up here, Delco Steve. We were off last week. Delco Steve had a soccer game on Monday. We were going to do it on Tuesday, and I was working for Anthony last week on PHLY. And I have a late day on Tuesday because the kids have gymnastics. And I was like, I'm not going to make it home by 9 o'clock. So we scrapped it. Thursday was the 4th of July. How was your 4th of July?
Good. Chill. Relaxed. Have yourself.
It was good. Black Gritty says you can see the comments from everywhere. Thank you, Black Gritty. Just shot me a text.
Perfect.
All right, so you can see the comments on Twitter. Yeah, I would love everybody to go over to YouTube and subscribe, but, convenience if you like watching on Twitter. And yes, I know it's called X now. I don't need an email from somebody. Twitter changed their name to X. Yes, I'm.
It still does the bird like chirp when you like refresh.
Does it really?
Yep. Like how do you overlook that?
Dude, I would say since how long ago did Twitter change to X? A year and a year, something like that. Around a year.
Has it been that long already?
Well, I was on. I was done WIP in December. It was changed over then. Yeah, it's got to be.
Holy crap!
I was thinking closer to 2 years. Twitter changed to X. Let's see. August of 2023.
All right, so it's coming.
So it started at that July 2023, the end of July. So they go almost a year.
Wow, that flew by.
Oh man, what a sad day it was when it changed it. So anyway, yes, I would say that I've received easily 20 emails since it changed over. That it's like it's called X, not Twitter. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that every time I click the app that it's a giant X, not a little
or
bird.
every story that says on X, formerly Twitter. If you and there she is. So my daughter, as soon as we go on, my daughter who usually naps she still naps, she just turned 3. Happy birthday. We had her birthday. So she normally naps, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 hours. But I would say like an hour and 20 would be the average, right? My wife's having dinner with the moms tonight. So she napped. It was like 3 o'clock, she's still asleep. 3:30, still asleep. 4 o'clock, she's still asleep. And I'm like, I'm not waking her up. I'll give her till 4:30. So she woke up at 10 after 4. She took a 3 hour and 10 minute nap, which might be the longest nap she's ever taken.
Those are the best naps.
I
3
got
hour
so
naps
much.
are the best naps.
I got so much accomplished too, because my other 2 were working on some kind of a craft, and they didn't need me for anything other than getting paint all over the house, which is a whole nother thing. I did dishes. Like my house is a complete mess. We had 2 birthday parties back to back. Bella turned 3 on Saturday, and then our party for Lena, who turns 7 on the 13th, July 13th, we had it on Sunday. So I was just like, my house is a mess. I'm a mess. I'm tired. The kids are tired. My wife's back to work today. So I had so much stuff. And thank God she took a 3 hour and 10 minute nap. But I say that because my wife's not home. And I just heard the dad. Oh, now she's yelling. She's still awake.
Well, aren't the other ones old enough to, watch her at this point?
Well, they could go in if it was like, if I was like, honey, like you got to go make sure, like I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom. I can't get off the toilet right now. Go, like she's jumping up and down. Go make sure she's okay. She's been laying down. She's just yelling my name now. And I texted my wife and she didn't get back to me. So.
On her own.
13 minutes. Yeah, I might be. I might be going up with the computer and rocking her
Slow
like
appearance.
this. There it is. You hear it?
Yep.
Yeah. It's never, believe me, it's mama a lot, not when it comes to sleep. Now she's getting pissed. Jesus Christ, man. All right, so well, listen. So what do we do here? What she needs is like a 5 or a 10-minute rock. So could I put on my AirPods? No, that would be too far away from
the computer.
God damn it! Where are you, Liz? At least if I knew, if like she was 10 minutes away from being home, are you still at the mall? It's my own fault for letting her sleep. Are you still at the mall? Beep.
Yeah, you got a lot done though. It's
No, I know, but I mean, even when she slept till 4 o'clock, I wasn't thinking that it'd be 9:08 and she'd be yelling while we're doing this right now.
I can't begin to say I know anything about how this stuff works. So you're on your own.
Here's how it works: either you have to do the show right now, or I have to go. I have to go up there. There's no. Hey, listen. Yeah, she's crying and Daddy. So, Steve, you could go on and give your thoughts, or we could reconvene in about 10 or 15 minutes.
We can reconvene in 10 minutes.
Are you sure? People want you to take over, Steve.
I mean, I'm just gonna talk to myself for 10 minutes.
Yes. What do you think, everybody? Should Steve take over? Because let's face it, if I'm gone for 15 or 20 minutes, nobody's tuning back in. Yeah, talk Flyers.
All right, we can talk some Flyers.
You good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, everybody. Delco Steve, is it an emergency situation? Yeah, just answer questions. Yeah, do it and ask anything. All right, I'm out of here.
All right. Well, there we go. See you, John. All right, so we're gonna wing this a little bit since didn't obviously have this plan to do it by myself for 15, 20 minutes. Well, first off, we got the Paul George situation where we signed him to a 4-year, $200-something plus million deal. I kind of like it, kind of happy with it. So we can get into that if you guys want to get into that. We got the Phillies with 7 All-Stars, like you said. Did Sanchez get snubbed a little bit? Maybe, but we'll see. Flyers. So latest was Mitchkoff signing. We talked about that 2 weeks ago, and we thought that's the coming in or the next stage of the rebuild for the Flyers, and the next step was getting him over here. They got him over here. He signed to his entry-level contract, so that's keys in the right direction. They're not big, not a lot of free agency coming up for the Flyers. They're almost cap strapped. So at the moment, they're pretty much right up to the salary cap. Is Mitchkoff a 99-point guy? Not in the next year or two. They really don't have the talent around them at the moment to produce like that. In the future, yeah, he definitely could be a 99-point guy. He's got the skill set to, be the playmaker that they're looking for, and he has the shot to be the lethal shooter that they need. In the next 3-4 years, could he be a 99-point guy? 100%. That's the NHL scoring over the last few years has been on an uptick. We've seen a lot more guys that are eclipsing the 100-point mark than they had, or more so in the past. So there's definitely a possibility that he can get to that point. They need the playmakers around him so he can produce like that. I mean, he can't pass the puck to himself and score goals by himself. So yeah, he could be there. 29 goals next year for Mitchkoff. That would be a really, really good season for him. Let me look up something real quick. Because Bedard was the consensus number 1 pick last year, and he's going to be a bona fide superstar in the league. And Mitchkov was compared to him going into their draft season. Bedard obviously blew everybody away in his draft year. He got hurt a little bit this year. He played 68 games. He scored 22 goals. If Mitchkov produces on that same type of level, then that would be a really successful season for him as a rookie. He's got a really good shot to win Rookie of the Year. Flyers haven't had anyone that fits that capability since probably Lindros. I think Lindros is probably the only person that's won a significant award for the Flyers in my lifetime. So yeah, Mitchkov's got a shot to produce the way that way. Why do we hate Bedard? Osware? Like, what has he done so far to piss you off? I mean, I hate McDavid from his rookie year when he was crying about Brandon Manning taking him out and he broke his shoulder. So I can't get over that. So I'm all for any and all reasons for why we can't. Well, yeah, he's not a Flyer. Of course, that's a good reason to hate anybody. That makes sense. Cutter is definitely going to be playing against the Flyers this year. He's going to be one of Mitchkov's main competition for Rookie of the Year. Anaheim's got a lot of young players that they haven't been able to put it together over the last few years. They're in like a 7-year rebuild. So yeah, but it'll be interesting to see Cutter come into Philly for the first time. Probably going to schedule. I believe the schedule comes out soon-ish, but so we'll see when he's making his return to Philly. I will definitely be buying a ticket to that game. I will be booing the hell out of that kid. Don't care. It's just, don't tell me you want to be a Flyer. And then when it comes to, they want you to get seasoning and go back to college for one more year where you could still make money in college now. It's really not that big a deal. And to spurn the team over something like that, if that is actually the case, that's just asinine. But what can you do? He's gone. Not Delorier. Oh my God. Why am I blanking? The defenseman we got back, he's a good young player. He was a 6th overall pick for Anaheim. And he's got a lot of offensive potential. If he can build into that role, he can be a very foundational piece for us. Let's see. What we other got here? What's your opinion on Claude Giroux? Is he underrated as a Flyer? I am a Claude Giroux apologist. I think he got a lot of bad credit for what his time here with the Flyers. A lot of people are like, oh, he's not the right type of captain. I don't care what a lot of people don't know what it takes to be a hockey captain. I'm more of the follow my example sort of person when it comes to my hockey captains. So I think Giroux went out there and he laid it out on the line every night. No, I don't think many people played with more heart than he did in any given situation. There was a point where he was the best player in hockey for 5 minutes. He played with that intensity. He matched up with the best players in the league. He's produced points at a high level for multiple years. There was a 5-year stretch where I believe he was like 2nd or 3rd in points behind like Ovechkin. And I believe it was Crosby. I'm not positive. Oh, it might have been Patrick Kane. But I mean, I think the Claude Giroux tenure with the Flyers, it sucks that they didn't get nearly as far along as they could have. But in the early 2010s, they were knocking on the door. And they just couldn't get through. They had the goalie situation with Brizgalov and Bob. And yeah, it was, they kind of let it down at the end. And I don't know. Claude Giroux will always be one of my favorite Flyers. I love the way he played. If he doesn't retire in orange and black, that's kind of a shame. He went home to Ottawa. I understand that. And they're worse off than we are. So I don't know if he made the right decision there. I get that he went to Florida and thought he had a shot there. Could have went to Colorado when they ended up did win in that year, but they didn't. So, but Claude Giroux, I think, is a very underrated player for the Flyers. It's obviously a lot of people say like, oh, is he a Hall of Famer? It's going to be close. There's a lot of great players from this generation that probably get in way before him, but he'll be borderline. And one of the things for the Flyers, they don't retire numbers unless you make the Hall of Fame. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes with with Claude and his future. John LeClaire is a very nice guy. He used to hang out at the stadium. I believe his son played hockey there in Havertown. Saw a couple times. He's like, "Yo, what's up?" It was always cool, always nice to talk to him, but mind his own business kind of thing. And what? Okay, Turtle. My opinion on Drew's wrong. Why? Why is it wrong? Yeah, give me your feedback. Tell me why it's wrong. Simmons, awesome player. Well, I mean, he fit Phillies mentality perfectly. He scored, he punched, he hit, he did everything. He's fit the prototypical Flyer that every Flyer fan loves. It's couldn't ask for more. He was a great power forward for 3-4 years there, and it's his body caught up to him. He took some beatings over the years, and his career ended a little earlier than probably he would have liked. But what can you do? He was great. I enjoyed Simmons, the Simmons, Giroux lines, the Hartnell on that line. Those lines were fun to watch, and they always produced. And him on the net front power play in the modern NHL, he's probably one of the better net front power play guys that the NHL has seen in for a decent period of time. And Turtle, no response yet. Okay. Said, yeah, Simmons definitely never backed down from anyone. He actually isn't nearly as big as people think. He's probably 6'2", 190. I'm actually curious now. Let me see. Yep, 6'2", 184. He was not a big dude, but he played way above his weight class, and he wasn't backing down from anyone. So we got Marco wants the Flyers to tear it all down. Would love to see a haul for TK. Also loving the show. Well done, Delco Steve. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, the so-called rebuild hasn't really been a rebuild. They haven't really moved on from a lot of the pieces that they had, or were looking to build around before and then let go. Yeah, they traded Sean Walker at the deadline last year, and he was also part of another deal that was, trade to break down the core of the team with trading Provorov to Columbus last offseason. So they ended up getting 2 firsts for Provorov. They probably would get a very good haul for TK. Are you getting 2 firsts, or are you getting a first and pick and a player that's coming up now and a prospect? I don't know. He's got 1 year left on his contract with $5.5 million. It's a contract a lot of teams would want, but they'd be in the same spot as us, where they would have to extend him to a long-term deal and expect, hey, and we're back. But yeah, so yeah, that wasn't too bad.
What'd you talk about?
Yeah, we answered some Flyers questions. Apparently I have a terrible opinion on Drew being a good Flyer.
What did you say?
I think he's underrated technical in
Claude Giroux?
Yeah. But yeah, I think
what does the average Flyer fan say about Claude Giroux? That he's a loser because he didn't win?
I think the uninformed Flyers hockey fan would say that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, all right. So very casual Flyer fan here. I thought Giroux was a really good player, but they won Squadouche. He's not he's not a number one player. I'm going to lead my franchise to a Stanley Cup type player. He's a good number 2, right? He's an all-star scorer. I mean, he had red light. He was a red light player in a lot of games, right? I mean, he didn't come up small in big games.
No, dude. I remember being at an overtime game. They were playing Chicago, and overtime starts, and I said about we were just sitting there watching. I'm like, Drew's going to score on his first shift, and he goes right down and goes bar down. It's he came up clutch a lot. There was a lot of teams that he carried a lot of teams that probably didn't, probably shouldn't have been as good as they were.
He also messed his hand up with a golf shaft or something, and it was people questioned what happened, which I don't blame him.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I saw Drew out a couple times in Sea Isle over the
He,
years.
he knew how to have fun.
More than a couple times. Dude, any Flyer, the Flyers have owned the shore since the 80s. I remember the 80s, Rick Tocchet, Peter Zezel. They were the good-looking Flyers with mullets. And they owned the Jersey Shore. Richards and Carter, notorious. I don't know. Lindros, Legion of Doom was era. That wasn't their style down there. But yeah, like you're a young, rich, good-looking dude. And you're like, yeah, the Jersey Shore, let me check it out. And there's chicks all over the place wanting to bang you. Like, yeah,
there was a story. There was a story on my senior week that some dude from my rival high school knocked out Mike Richards down the shore.
Would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but who knows? Never was confirmed.
Right. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Those guys were definitely down there. I have seen John Clark in Sea Isle before.
That's where he's got to be down there to get all the tea.
I think he's more. Avalon, maybe. I don't know. I've seen John. I don't ever go out anymore, but back when I did, I would see him out. And he works too much to be out all the time. But you know, he used to be out. A lot of us did. All right. Well, congratulations to Claude Giroux for being called the Donovan McNabb of the Flyers, which was not said in a positive way. Was it a compliment?
There was definitely no compliment there.
All right, look, you got a lot of. Looking here, you got a lot of. All right, Black Gritty had chimed in and said, "Hey, you should have called me up because Black Gritty's out there.
That would have been good
tonight." All right, couple things here, and then we'll get into it. It's hot outside, and my wife is it's like hot in the house. She's like, "Oh my God, it's hot in the house." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's 100 degrees outside." Hey, the air conditioner's broken. Like, no, it's not. It's just the house gets to 75 or 76 degrees when it's hot out. Doesn't mean you should put it on 40 degrees. It's not going to get the house any cooler anytime soon. You got to let it work.
Just going to freeze up your unit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, let me bump it down to 68. Why? It's 77. It's not going to make it go down any faster.
You got it set to 70 and it's 77. It ain't going down.
Dude, I just don't I don't understand what people don't understand. I don't understand what she doesn't understand. Setting it down to 65 is not going to make it 70 any sooner. Set it to 70, you'll get to 70. It's going to take time. But this is, so yesterday, it's like, there's something wrong with the air conditioner. Like, no, there's not. It's friggin' hot out. It's hot upstairs. You live in a 2-story house. It gets hot upstairs in the summer. We don't have separate units. I don't know what to tell you. I grew up in a house without air conditioning. Like, put a fan on your face. Say it.
I mean, general air conditioning knowledge is not taught to many people.
I just don't understand it. I just you don't need people used to do it at the Fanatic. WIP, I don't even think we could control the thermostats in the studio. But the Fanatic, whatever idiot would come in and put it to 60 degrees. And it's like, you just froze the thing up. That's why it's 80 degrees in here. Idiot.
It was always freezing in that freaking box at the Fanatic.
It was. I hope she's not crying again. So I was up there for a little bit of right around 10 minutes and I got her to sleep. But I also leaving. I'm like, I'm not so sure. I don't know. So we'll have to play it by ear. So there was that 4th of July. So check this out. 4th of July, before we talk about sports. You know, you hear every year about how there's statistics of people getting injured on the 4th of July. And I don't mess around with fireworks. I could see you doing something on the 4th of July getting injured.
10 years ago, yeah, definitely.
Right. Well, I've never been outside of and I didn't do this, but someone in high school flushed an M80 down the toilet in the bathroom to the gym, like the locker room bathroom.
Yep.
And we were standing waiting for
boom,
whatever, and boom. Yeah, it's like it was like a bomb went off in the bathroom because it did. That toilet, that was bad. Bad.
Nope, that I can't say I've ever done anything to that extent.
No, me neither. But I was like, damn, that's crazy, man. You should get whoever did that should have got locked up.
What was it? Was not or who was the UCU Manura? Is that who blew up his hand for the Giants?
John Pierre Paul.
JPP.
JPP.
So ever since he did that, that was pretty much the end of my fireworks screwing around. So I like my hands the way they are.
So I always think about that, the digits, that you lose a digit or whatever, but that's not what happened in this case. So I was on July 3rd. Our friends invited us over. They're right down the street. They invited us over to, and they live in a cul-de-sac with 6 houses, big houses spread apart or whatever. People have money, so this is like, they're like, yeah, we have a block party, fireworks or whatever. So like, this is a nice party. You know what I mean? Like all kinds of food, all kinds of drink, stuff for the kids. It's like, wow, this is good. So my kids have never seen fireworks,
How?
other than on TV. Well, I mean, to go to fireworks, you have to pretty much, they start at 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And it's like
Yeah.
last year, I don't know what happened. We just didn't go. So I'm like, no, we can go this year. I'll stay home with the baby. But so we were gonna go on the 4th, but they wanted to stay for the fireworks. So I'm like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. So we stay for the fire. So they come out. It's in a cul-de-sac, and they got the boxes of fireworks. You know what I mean? They easily
Yeah.
spent like $1,000 on fireworks. And
Did
so they
their own
start
little
off
show.
exactly. So they real fast on this. This is not my neighborhood, Michael Richmond. Bragging that I'm rich. I pretty much have no money left. I've been unemployed for 7 months now. If you had any idea my financial situation. Anyway, so like they start off with these little kid, not quite sparklers. They had sparklers out with them before we were playing with, but then like little fireworks. Well, they liked it. Like, oh, it's so neat. So then they're like, yeah, here comes the big fireworks. So now it's dark. So they bring it out. They put a piece of plywood in the middle of the street, right? So they're not blowing up the street, I guess. So they start lighting the fireworks off, whatever, and like whatever. The kids don't necessarily like it, but they're like, oh, this is interesting, and they're back pretty far. So they light up another one. So the box falls over after being lit. And man, you're like in the jungle of Vietnam, bro, because it is shooting directly into the crowd of women and children. Luckily, we were up and over a little bit, didn't come near us, but we could see it. I actually had the best vantage point of anybody. I could see the rockets flying towards all of them. And this little kid caught one in the chest. I'm not kidding either. He was okay, but he was so
That's
scared.
not funny. That's not funny. I don't know why.
I say that no. I say he was okay because he was okay, but so I guess that's how else you can get injured in fireworks is the box falls over, and it also was firing in the drainage ditch or the drain whatever, and it hasn't rained, so there's a fire in there. They had to go throw water in there to put it out.
There's a lot of those videos of like the thing tipping over and just shooting off. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll go watch fireworks, but I don't need to blow it up anymore. I'll stick with being my normal pyro self instead of blowing up stuff.
Well, we have WIP talk after we talk about some sports, and I see there's a lot of people talking about Spike in the comments here. Either good or not so good. Obviously, Howard had his thing. So let's talk a little sports, and we'll end with the Howard stuff. So, Delco Steve, are you surprised what the Sixers have been able to do over the course of a week and a week and a day or so?
Yeah, it was last Monday. Yeah.
I mean,
well, we thought the Paul George thing was going to happen. Obviously,
correct.
That was something we've been talking about for months. I think it's grown on me more since I thought about it more. If he's a healthy version of what he's been the last few years, I think he's a good fit. I think he fits well with Maxey, and I think he fits well with Embiid. I think Caleb Martin's a good, he's a clutch player in playoff time. The one run the Heat had to the finals, he was clutch a lot.
Yep.
And I like Oubre back.
Me too.
Andre Drummond for $5 million a year. That's compared to some of the deals that's been handed out in the NBA.
Backup nothing. Center, he averages like 18 minutes. He almost has a double, 9 rebounds. So at least you're not going to get pushed around, and Embiid can't play 40 minutes a night. So having Drummond play 15 to 18 minutes a night is perfect.
And I think having Paul George play with Drummond helps because now you're not losing the scoring when Embiid goes to the bench, and you still have the defense with Drummond in there.
Yeah, you wonder if they're because you don't want Paul George playing a lot of 4, and Caleb Martin is probably going to play some 4 too. But they're really like they need some minutes at the 4. We'll see.
Yeah, I would say that's the one position they still probably need to fill.
And they have time, and there's the trade market and everything that happens. But I got to tip my cap to Daryl Morey. I found it strange that the Clippers, in my opinion, really made an offer that they had to know Paul George was going to refuse. He talked about it on his podcast, Paul George.
I was about to say, did you see that on this podcast?
He said they were willing to give him all he asked for was the same contract that Kawhi got, which was 3. And he wanted a no trade. Yep. And they said no. And then he wanted to say, fine, give me a max.
I'm going to take a discount. I want to know, and I want to know I'm going to
no trade. I'll take 3 years. You don't have to give me 4, but it's $50 million a year, and $53 million a year. He said no. So then he said, "Well, give me the 4 max," and they're like, "No." So it's like they had to know that, like, either you want the player or you don't. Like, what do you care? You give him 3 or 4. If it blows up and it doesn't work, it's going to blow up, and your team's going to suck. You're not going to win anything.
Yep.
Right? So, like, it was weird. And it takes the Clippers, and maybe it was a good read by Daryl Morey, which I don't think it was. I think it was more, hey, listen, give me the cap space, and I'll need a little bit of luck, but I'll figure things out. And he got a little lucky. The fact that Paul George, the Clippers, didn't, and no other team was able to step up. I mean, the Warriors wanted him, and he wanted to go to Golden State, but the Clippers wouldn't trade him to Golden State. Right. They wanted, I forget the player, Kuminga. They wanted a player. Yep. Warriors said no. They offered draft picks and expiring contracts, so they weren't given a bunch of crappy contracts. They were like, hey, you can get expiring contracts. Here's a first-round draft pick. And they said no. So they literally got nothing by letting him walk, which is weird. I know it's out of conference. I guess I'm just surprised that there wasn't more interest in Paul George out there by anybody.
Well, there was 3 or 4 teams that,
Warriors.
It was Warriors and was it Rockets?
Warriors, Magic. I think the Magic, because they turned their attention to somebody else. I think when they knew, they were like, yeah, he's not signing.
They got Caldwell Pope.
Pope, yes, they signed Caldwell Pope. I don't think I think that because I was surprised mildly surprised Paul George didn't go to Florida or didn't go to Orlando, because they have a good young team and no state income tax. And
well, he was going to take a discount to stay in California with their freaking state tax. So
yeah,
coming here was technically making more money.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, California's the worst. So anyway, mildly surprised, but you got to give. It worked. It worked. You mentioned some of their other moves. I think Oubre's really big. He gives you a scoring punch. And so Caleb Martin, right? And this is what I'm hoping he can do, because I don't know. Like, he seemed like one of those players that is like, no, F you, we're not losing this game. He's not the most talented guy in the world. He can shoot the 3. Like, he's the type of player they need on this team. They need guys that don't give an F. And they're going out there.
He's got a little swagger.
Yeah, man, you need some players like that on your team. And not like Joel being an idiot like he does at games. I hate that. But tough guys. Guys don't mind hard fouls and maybe a fight or two every once in a while. Someone with some toughness. He's got toughness, man. These Pat Riley players, these Heat players, these Eric Spoelstra players, they might not be the most talented players in the world. And Strus has left. A couple of other players have left as well. They've made some money because they were on teams down there in free agency, but they're all good players. And I think it's a huge addition for the 76ers. The one thing, and here's the reality of it. We can talk about Daryl Morey or Nick Nurse or whoever, right? Now the team needs to come together. Maxey, Embiid, Paul George, the big 3. They have the best big 3 in the NBA, yes or no? I don't care. They didn't lose to the Knicks last year because the Knicks were that much better than them. They lost to the Knicks last year because the Knicks got to every loose ball. The Knicks got second chance points. Like, the Knicks just kind of outworked them and earned that series win. The Knicks are a tough team. That's what I want the Sixers to be. They're more talented at this point. And Joel needs to be like, now this is Joel. This is on Joel. Bro, you're a superstar. I know you're center, but like, you're a superstar. Now you have to make this unit work. Now we'll look at you and be like, you're the superstar. You have Paul George. Maxey's a great player. They've added depth to the team. This is a really, really good team. This is the team that should be competing for the East this year. Like, legitimately competing. Feeling good about it.
I have an issue with my mic here.
What's wrong with it? Is it a low
I
battery?
don't know.
So
Well, it doesn't have a battery.
No,
No, I think we're good. I think I got it.
you good? Oh yeah, no, because you use an actual mic. We just can't see it. You use these for earphones.
Yep.
There you go. Forgot about
the guy I've always wanted that I never thought was going to be an option. Just possibly hitting the trademark. Laurie Markkinen would be awesome for. I would give up every freaking draft pick possible.
Well, yes,
to get
that
him.
would be. Yeah, no, that would be all time. Yeah, I mean, here's what I've learned about. And my wife is home.
There we go.
All right, let me see. What is she doing? Downstairs. Have monitors. Would have been nice if she could have texted me back or something.
She said that's all that matters.
Yeah, no, I didn't think there was anything wrong, but I was just trying to be like, hey, when are you coming home? Because so she'll come downstairs in a second. Yeah, the one thing that we're learning about like this new financial thing of the NBA is that the stars are still getting paid, but kind of like the middle class or the middle tiered player isn't getting the same kind of big contract. So a guy like I'm trying to think of who else too, but even a guy like Martin who signs, like, believe me, a really nice contract, but these good starters a lot of them aren't getting paid the max money. Hi, you all right? You didn't text me back. You didn't call me. Look like you've been drinking. No, you sure?
Nope.
Say hi. See, a little bit. I had to actually leave the show because Bella was up there crying, yelling "Daddy," and Delco Steve had to talk about the Flyers for 10 minutes. We made it back though.
It all worked.
Yeah. So this was, again, tip my cap to Daryl Morey. He's done an excellent job. This is the best. Is this team on paper? And here's one other thing, and I almost forgot about this. I don't know if people saw the Joel Embiid did an interview with ESPN, like one of the ESPN writers. It wasn't on. I don't think it was on TV, but I read it, and they're asking him about the team and everything else, and you had the best big three, and blah 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 blah, and he must have said it 4 or 5 times. He said that. So here it is. He says that and he said, I'd be lying to say patience wasn't tested. No awards, there's no regular season or no All-NBA or All-Stars that's going to change my legacy. There's a few things that can change that. Main one's the championship. So when you think about that, you want to be remembered as someone that's won. And he talks about the team and whatever. He said, on paper, it looks great, but we still got to go on the court and make it work. And he says, again, it looks amazing. But again, on paper, as far as the fit, it looks fantastic because you have both guys that can play off the ball, blah, 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 blah. And he used the paper a few times during the interview, according to, is this Bontemps? Yeah, Tim Bontemps. So the fact that he realizes that on paper, this team looks great. It looks great. But, I mean, like that, this team, it seems to look great on paper and in the regular season before. So
yep. We said the same thing with Simmons. We said the same thing when Harden got here.
Yeah.
It can go south real quick.
Yep. So on paper they do. I feel like they've added some toughness on the team though. Paul George. I mean, what does Paul George want? Now, Paul George. Think about the Nets. Remember when it's Kyrie, James Harden, Durant. How could they possibly lose? Well, very easily they lost, and then it was done. So
they didn't like each other. That's
right.
how.
But Daryl Morey's done. I'll say this: Daryl Morey's done his job. Now it's really hard to win a championship. Really, really hard to win a championship in any sport, as we've learned with the Flyers, with the Sixers, with the Eagles for so many years. So now it's up to the players. Now it's up to Joel Embiid. We just cross our fingers and hope. So, cheers to Joel.
Well, that's the thing about with the Paul George acquisition. It takes a lot off of Embiid. He doesn't have to kill it. If his MVP chasing days are over and it's about winning championships, then this move helps him a lot. Where it's just, all right, you could sit out a game and Paul George and Maxey can take over instead of,
Oh yeah.
oh, Maxey's got to score 40 to have a shot, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. When he got injured at the end of the year, I was actually of the mind, like, guys will step up. They'll be okay. You don't need, like, and they weren't. They really, really weren't. So you're right. Paul George and Maxey, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so we had that Phillies lose 2-3 in Atlanta. The 680 The Fan down in Atlanta was feeling very good about themselves. Today, if you check out my Instagram, John Marks Media, what does it say? So it has, I don't even know who it is, but somebody in a Phillies like t-shirt, somebody in an Atlanta t-shirt, and he says, "Have a nice flight home." Feeling good about the Braves winning 2-3 in July over the Phillies.
Yeah, when you haven't beat us in the playoffs in the last 2 years, and we have your number when it matters,
Have
congrats,
fun, fellas. Yeah.
I would have contemplated giving it to you if you won 2 of 3 here, and you were saying something like, "Oh, we're having a great flight home." Fine, I'd give it to you. But come on,
Right.
you win 2 of 3. You're supposed to win 2 of 3 at home. Is that what you're
By
supposed
the
to
way,
do?
what happened Friday? The Phillies were fortunate to win on Friday night, right?
Friday. No, weren't they up big?
Were they? I don't remember.
Weren't.
Well, I mean, here's the reality: the Braves dominated the Phillies in those last 2 games, right?
Yeah.
So Friday,
Sanchez didn't pitch well. The
8-6.
first game.
8-6. Trey Turner had 2 home runs.
They
held
were
on.
up they were up. I was saying they were up 8-3.
They held on. Yeah. Yeah, Hoffman came in. By the way, the All-Star Jeff Hoffman, we'll talk about in a second. So, like, Phillies just, I mean, so here's my one worry with the Phillies. Ranger Suarez hasn't looked great the last couple times out.
He's feeling the JT being out more than anybody, I believe.
See, I mean, I just see him missing his spots, and he doesn't throw hard enough to where he has to have great command. And if he doesn't, he's going to get. And he's been getting hit a little bit. So I'm trying to look at his game logs here. All right, so we'll do last 5 starts. 5 innings, 4 2/3. So he went 4 2/3 and gave up 6 runs, and he went 5 and gave up 5 runs. So he said back-to-back starts where he only went 9 2/3, and he's given up 11 earned runs. Before that, he was still pretty good. But you worry that he's getting to the All-Star break. He's already logged significant amount of innings compared to what he normally does, probably. And maybe he's running out of gas a little bit. Now he's an All-Star. So, which he's earned, by the way. But, yeah, so you worry a little bit about the starting pitching. Sanchez didn't pitch well. He got hit up a little bit. The Mercado, I was ready to give Mercado the fifth starter's job, but
after 1 start.
Yes. Well, I mean, someone's got to grab the 5th starter, no? I don't feel like they're waiting for Walker to come back. It feels like to me they're waiting for somebody to grab the job. But if no one grabs the job, they may try Walker again, because Turnbull's not going to be back till middle of August.
I was going to say, when's Turnbull back?
Middle of August is what I saw. So that's a good, with the All-Star break, that's a good 4 starts, right?
Yeah.
At least. So they're going to need somebody, maybe a bullpen game. But I think Mercado will get another start. I don't know when Walker can come back. Yeah. Tired of him, but
too soon. Anytime soon is too soon.
Yeah, I've had enough of them for sure. But yeah, so the Phillies, whatever, they're the Dodgers coming into town here. This should be a fun series. Hopefully, if you remember, was it 2 years ago or last year that it seemed like that it was it was like a Dodgers almost home game. It felt like an Eagles game when we go on the road to a place. But I forget what it was. There's like a ton of Dodgers fans at the game. It was really annoying. So you have Zach Wheeler, which is good to start the series. Chris Sanchez got to get off the schneid. And then Thursday, Aaron Nola. So Wheeler, Sanchez, and Nola, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Is Sanchez an all-star snub for you?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
No. Yeah, if he does it again next year, he'll be an all-star. You can't put everybody in.
I
Flores kind of shit in the bed the last 2 games. I was happy to see they still put him in. Nola's ERA is probably a little bit too high, but he's got 10 wins. He's 3.4, and based on his reputation, Nola could have been an all-star, for Christ's sake. So they get 7 in, which is it feels pretty good when your team has 7 representatives or has 3 starters in the infield. I mean, you freaking kidding me? So yeah, this would be awesome.
It's like the old Yankee days with Teixeira, Jeter, and A-Rod all starting the All-Star teams.
Yep. And then the Athletics come into town this weekend, which, hopefully the Phillies win that series right there.
That should be an easy sweep.
Justin in Tennessee, by the way, is making his trip up to Philadelphia. He was at a Washington Nats game yesterday. He's in Gettysburg, I believe, today. And he's going to be at Chickens and Pete's for the afternoon show on WIP. And then he's going to go to the game on Friday night. So there you go. Wish I could be there, Justin, but I'm on Thursday. I am going out of town here, so we won't be on Thursday. My anniversary is on Friday. 10 years. We are renewing our vows in Cape May. Yeah, and then we're then we're on vacation for a week in Ocean City. So there we go.
Dog days of summer.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. Be down the shore for a week. But Delco Steve, I do want to do one show from Ocean City next week.
All right.
If not 2. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring my other camera and my other microphone so I can get somebody hooked up there as well. So I will. I'll text with you.
Sounds like a plan to me.
See when we want to do that. All right. So feeling good about the Phillies. They're 8 games up over the Braves.
I'm not worried about them. They need to go into a huge slide before I think of ever having worries. They're staying afloat right now without 2 of their best hitters.
3 All-Stars that aren't. Playing.
Yeah. I mean, what do you expect? They have the best record in baseball. I ain't worried. I know, the Braves winning 2 out of 3 against scab lineup for every other day. I'm not worried about it.
Yes, I am poor. I am poor. Yes.
He's selling feet pics on Feet Finder. You can go find him.
If you think that you don't want pictures of my feet, if you think that I believe this is the best resource for our money, what we're doing, no. We're on the beach. We're having it on the beach in Cape May. It's not like we're having a wedding right like that. Yeah, we're not having. Yeah, it was like $100 to get the license, and my uncle's like doing this small ceremony thing that we're doing. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Did you get a gift yet?
Yeah, I got another ring. Yes, I bought another ring. I went to Mark's Jewelers. Went up to Mark's Jewelers in Montgomeryville. Marks-Jewelers.com. Yep. Nice. Yep, I got her a ring. Yep. I wasn't necessarily aware that I was going to be buying a ring like that, but I am poor. All right, so there's that. So what's the all right? So the Howard Eskin thing. What do you think about this, Delco Steve? Joe Namath moment.
Joe Namath moment. Are we putting Howard on par with Joe Namath?
All right. So first of all, I feel we'll get to Howard in a second. I feel bad for Spike because Spike is on the air. Everybody knows about it. He came out and he commented on it. Forget about a son like Howard's his dad. Also from a family perspective with his mom, you know what I mean? Like he's making national news for trying to kiss a girl at a Phillies game, and he got suspended by the Phillies and the Sixers. He can't go to games. That was hugely embarrassing.
What does he have to do with the Sixers anyway?
Oh, the Sixers hate him.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything with he doesn't unless I'm missing something. Does he do something with the Sixers?
No, he just can't go to the games.
Yeah. That makes no sense to me.
So here's what. So I just want to say, I having to be on the air, and just from Spike's perspective, I feel bad for Spike. So Odyssey decided. So the story is, if you haven't heard, I'm sure everybody out there heard that Howard, according to an employee down at the Phillies games that works in the Diamond Club, what's it called now? Everybody knows it as the Diamond Club, whatever it's called now. That same area. That she accused Howard of trying to kiss her. And it was investigated by Odyssey, who came up with the idea of not Like he can't go down the Phillies games for the rest of the season. So everybody pretty much had known that something was up because Howard hasn't been down to a Phillies game. I think it's since like the end of April. I had a lot of people asking me, do you have any idea why Howard's not down there? Everybody down there knew something was up. And I had no idea. And I wasn't trying to find out or ask. I know Kevin Kincaid was working on it. Some other people were working on it. And then they got, somebody got the scoop from it. So like that was the Odyssey suspension. And it wasn't the Phillies. So then the Sixers follow suit. And they say, oh, yeah, well, he can't come down. We won't credential him either. He can't come down there or whatever. And to me, that's just because Howard gives the Sixers a hard time, big time, with the arena stuff, with everything. He gave Doc Rivers a hard time. He gives Daryl Morey a hard time. He's very negative on the Sixers. He's been for decades, been for a long, long time, since Sam Hinkie. So since Allen Iverson, I mean, you go back and just check the history of Howard and Allen Iverson. Howard served a really long suspension for saying things that were incorrect about Allen Iverson. The Eagles are like kind of now monitoring the situation and they're not saying anything about it because while he doesn't technically work for the Eagles, and I just want to clear this up, Howard is not an employee of the Eagles. Howard is an employee of Eagles Radio Network, which is owned by WIP and Odyssey. But the Eagles can say, we don't want him on the sideline. Eagles control, right? They have to give but he's not technically an employee of the Eagles. So the Eagles are monitoring the situation. So let me say this, that it's clear that Howard made whoever this employee was feel uncomfortable. I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't there. I haven't inquired about any of this, but he clearly made somebody uncomfortable. And I don't know what happened, but if she was uncomfortable and there was inappropriate behavior that happened, which I'm not going to question that there wasn't, right? Like Howard needs to be held accountable for that. Now, I know Howard, and I can't see him actually trying to like forcibly kiss or whatever. And I trying to say this correctly without people getting pissed. But like I can't see Howard like trying to aggressively kiss some girl. I'm not telling you that it wasn't an old man creepy thing because again, she felt uncomfortable, and that's all that matters. So like I don't know what happened, but like clearly she was uncomfortable, so there should be something done. I'm surprised Odyssey didn't suspend him from the air for a couple of weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or whatever. I'm surprised that they didn't, at least from a Saturday show. They don't allow him on any of the other day parts. I'm surprised there wasn't at least some kind of suspension. All right. But I've seen a lot of people say, well, if this happened at my job or if this happened, blah, 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 I would be fired. We would be fired. They would be fired. Do you agree with that, Delco Steve, when you've seen that?
Yeah, definitely. In that aspect, yeah. If you don't have a name like he does, you're getting shown the door. So
here's how I looked at it heading into last weekend. And by the way, I texted with Howard, and just to give him Howard has been very, very good to me. And if I saw behavior that was like, wow, that's really fucked up, then I would feel differently. I just texted him and said, listen, man, thinking about you. Hope you're okay. And he responded back, and we went back and forth a little bit, but that was it. I had no details of anything. Like, I don't want to call it a misunderstanding, but the fact that it's now Monday, that nobody else has come out and said, Howard sexually harassed me, Howard did this, or Howard did that. Not one person. If that would have happened, he would have gotten fired. He would have gotten fired from the Eagles. He would have gotten fired from WIP. He would have gotten fired. Plain and simple. If there would have been people that have come out and said the same thing happened to me, he'd be gone. That hasn't happened. So you can call it a misunderstanding. His behavior was inappropriate. But this isn't a pattern of sexually harassing. I know Howard a little bit. I've maybe seen him kind of. I think Howard thinks he's charming, which he kind of is. But he's also Howard. I don't think he thought he was being inappropriate or creepy or whatever. But if you're doing this to somebody in their 20s, Howard, you're not 40 or 50 anymore, brother. You're an old man. Right? So doing this to somebody that might be 23, 24, 25 and really have no idea who you are, right? They didn't grow up with you. They may never know who the hell you are, Howard, right? So, like, all that being said, I don't think he deserves to be fired. If there's people that are coming out and saying Howard did this, Howard did that, he's a serial sexual harasser, of course. I don't believe he is. I didn't think we were going to get more people that came out, so I don't believe he should have been fired. I think honestly, he should have suspended him. So, I mean, that's how I'll leave it. So,
I don't have much to add on it.
right. Yeah, so like I don't have any understanding, but Howard doesn't drink. Howard does not drink. I can't imagine him. Yeah, again, obviously, she felt uncomfortable, so he's got to stop this now. Like, you got to stop it. You got to stop. So the 76ers piled on, so he's gone. So anyway, so that's my opinion on the situation. There, Delco Steve.
So, what do you think the time frame is? The Eagles made a decision right before the season.
No, he's fine. He's fine. If people come out and say Howard sexually harassed me, Howard did this, Howard did that, he'll be gone. But they're not doing it.
Don't you think it's going to be weird though, having this Eagles be like, yeah, you can call our games while you're currently suspended from the Philly season, like as the Philly season's still going on? Isn't that a little,
if something changes, they'll whack him for sure.
No, I'm just saying. But he'll be actively suspended from the Phillies when the Eagles season starts.
Yep.
So don't you think that's a little, like, oh, how are we supposed to let him be on the sidelines here while he's on active suspension from the Phillies?
I remember Howard went on WIP and said that Alshon Jeffrey was the leak to was it Carson Wentz? I guess it was Carson.
Yeah, that had to be.
Carson Wentz. Yeah, he said he was the leak on the morning show. They were coming back from a West Coast trip. I don't even think he had been to sleep. And Angelo asked him where it came from. He said, yeah, all right, I'll tell you, Alshon Jeffrey. And the Eagles were pissed because he said, obviously then Alshon hears it. And my understanding was Alshon was really pissed and he like left the facility that day or whatever. But they also were like happy they put it out there because they hated him. Like Alshon was the source of the leak, right? So they were like, Howard, what are you doing saying that? But like, yeah, fuck him. So yeah.
Thanks for doing our dirty work.
Angelo did say in Philly voice that Howard should be fired or at the very least suspended. Like, Angelo, shut up. All right. Like, I'm not saying Angelo's ever sexually harassed anybody, but oh my God, you're gorgeous. Right? Like, wasn't that his whole shtick? Oh my God. Oh, ow. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous.
I have nothing nice to say, so just gonna put my fist in my mouth.
Angelo. I mean, Angelo was very, very good with people. He never did anything like that. I'm not trying to say that. But like Howard also used to. I mean, he used to talk about doing laundry, and when women would call in, what's for dinner tonight? Laundry. And this wasn't that long ago. And can you imagine him doing that now? Some woman calls in, he's asking her what's for dinner, and if she did the laundry in that day.
No, it wouldn't work.
Oh man. All right. Can't joke about kissing a young girl like a creepo. The fuck you talking about, Marks? What are you talking about? I'm not joking about anything. I'm saying that he's wrong. He obviously made her feel uncomfortable, but I don't think that he's a serial sexual harasser. And if he was, you would hear people and he'd be fired. I don't know, man. I mean, I none of us really know what happened. He's wrong. He should be like, if Honesty wanted to fire him, Honesty would have fired him. They would have thought that it was warranted. Obviously, they didn't.
Yeah, if this happened at the end of April-ish, then they're done this investigation into it.
Dude, he hasn't been down there May, June, 2.5 months, 2 months, 2+ months.
And you can't tell me there's not cameras all over that place. Like they know what happened.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. Whatever. I don't want to. talk too much about it. All right, what did we? I had some other stuff here. What do we have? A lot happened since we were last on there, Delco Steve. I know you said that you didn't. You said that you had a low key fireworks day. Does that mean you didn't do anything, or?
We went out early in the day, like did some stuff, but not really like anything crazy at night. We went down the shore Saturday for the day/night. That was a good time. But yeah, didn't see any fireworks down there either.
All right.
We came back yesterday and I hid inside in the air conditioning because I would melt outside.
Yeah, man, it's hot out. It feels good though.
Mrs. Delco Steve sat on the deck all afternoon. I'm like, nope. You can't pay me to sit. Can't pay me to sit out there in the afternoon.
Yeah, I wish I would have. My 3-year-old that had me upstairs earlier. She is in like this terrible 3s, not even the terrible 2s, the terrible 3 stage. And we go to the pool, and she my other daughters love swimming because they're just like finally learning how to swim, so they don't want to get out of the water. And we're there for 5 minutes, and she's like, "I want to go home," and she's like screaming, and she's trying to walk towards the exit or whatever. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, to get them to the pool, sunscreen, packing everything, snacks, water, sunscreening 3 kids in itself is just horrible, right? Dragging everything, and then right away she's just like not having it. Then the snack bar. Then she doesn't want to go in the water, and it's like, all right, so this is a lot of fun. So because I could sit outside in the sun all day, but
I mean, sitting outside at 95 degrees next to a pool is one thing. Sitting outside on my deck at 95 degrees without a pool is no, I'm out. I'm good.
All right. Well,
I'm about to go buy a kiddie pool for these next 99-degree days.
You want an inflatable pool? I have like 4 of them in my. Yeah. So my daughter Bella has her birthday party on Saturday, and it's like 97 degrees out, and the back of my house gets direct sunlight in the morning, and that's where our deck is, and that's where our backyard is. So everybody that's there is just getting crushed by the sun. So I set up tents in the morning. I'm out there. I'm setting up. We have these, like the tents that you get at Dick's Sporting Goods that break after, or they like get shitty after like 4 or 5 uses.
Yeah.
So I'm setting up tents, setting up tables, setting up chairs, put up this freaking sprinkler that's a dragon, and it's half air, half water inside of it, so it doesn't tip over. And then you plug the hose up to it, and water comes out of it.
Yep.
But it's like this terrible setup. It takes forever. Another sprinkler. I'm out there like 2.5 hours setting everything up. And then, so like I am friggin' drenched with sweat. And then my daughter's like, "You went in the sprinkler already?" I'm like, "Honey, this is sweat." So then the party's over at 1. And I have a good 2 hours of doing the same thing, taking it all back down in the afternoon now. So,
even hotter.
even hotter. So that was that. It was unbelievable. But all right, so one last thing here. Do you watch any new shows, Delco Steve? You know how everybody like watches like, oh, this show and that show and this show on Hulu and that show on. Did you watch shows?
Yeah, I'm a show junkie for sure.
All right, so give me 3 shows off the top of your head that you watch.
Like currently?
Yeah, like what are you watching right now? Give me a couple.
The House of the Dragon is what I'm locked into right now.
And what's that on?
The HBO.
Okay.
It's the Game of Thrones prequel. It's season 2 right now.
Oh, really? So I've never.
Oh, dude,
I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, I'm making Mrs. Delco Steve watch the original Game of Thrones now. So we're on season 4 of that. We're on season 4 of that. She was out too, and I got her locked. I got her locked in.
She likes it.
Yeah, she likes. I mean, I don't think she likes it as much as she leads on to, but she's watching it without me now. So
she likes it. My dad loved Game of Thrones. He was like with me in The Sopranos, Game of Thrones. He was sitting there waiting for it to come on.
The first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones might be the best TV ever.
Really? Yeah. When I think of shows, Tim, I agree with you. I think of Mac now because he's always putting out there like on social media, what are some good shows that I could watch? He loves his shows, beers, and burgers, and babes too. Boobs. No, he loves shows, beers, and burgers. He does. So, have you watched The Bear?
Oh, it's the next. As soon as we're done watching Thrones,
Third
we're
season's
watching.
out. So I watched the first season, and I thought it was like B plus. Good. It was good.
Yeah,
I don't watch a lot of new shows.
Enough to go back for the second season.
I heard season 2 wasn't very good.
Oh, really?
I watched one episode by mistake of season 2. It was the Seven Fishes. Jamie Lee Curtis plays his mom. I don't know if you've seen season 2.
No, I haven't seen anything.
You haven't seen any of it?
No, it's the next thing on our list.
Oh, so I thought you meant like when we got off this, you're going to watch season 3 tonight.
No.
All right. So the Bear's very good so far in season.
I've heard great things about it. That's why it's that and Your Honor are the next two that we're supposedly going to watch.
Your Honor?
It's on Netflix.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to actually write that down.
Yep.
Your Honor. So I just saw Nick Costos tweet it out, and he said he finally started season 3 of The Bear. I thought the first episode was one of the best episodes of TV I've ever watched. Had goosebumps the entire time. Music, pacing, cinematography, perfection.
I think they don't talk in like an episode or something. Like they only say like 7 episodes, so that might be that episode. Or 7 words in an episode or something like that.
Really? That's interesting.
Apparently.
Well, Vince watches old old Phillies games on YouTube. I respect it. Okay. All right. Well, listen, I'm still I want to watch it for sure. It's coming up.
But another Costos one was I watched it I was watching it before you mentioned it, but Shogun on FX was really good. If you're
really,
it's got it's all subtitles. It's not all subtitles, but it's probably 50-50 but it's really good.
Shoresy?
Never even heard of it.
Is that about the Jersey Shore? So anyway,
yeah, probably won't watch that.
Instead of trying to find these, like people will be like, watch this, and I'll watch it, and I'll kind of be like, it's not bad, but like, whatever. Like so you know what I started doing? I started going back and rewatching the classics.
What do you consider the classics?
Well, anything from me growing up, right? Because you can find it. There are so many, and I have regular cable. There are so many. You can watch everything. There's this one channel in particular. I think it's out of Wilmington. And it's like Sanford and Son, Good Times. What's happened that's not on there? But I started DVRing Cheers. I think I might have talked about this on here. So I started DVRing it, and I finally picked it up where it started with season 1, episode 1. And so when Cheers started, it was 1982. So while I watched all of Cheers, I was also 6 years old when it came on. So first run, I probably don't start remembering until a couple years into it. But I've watched the first season. And after the first season of Cheers, they almost canceled it because the ratings weren't good. They thought the show was good, but there was talks about canceling it. And then they put it on during like when there were repeats, they put it on at a different time slot. People loved it. So then ended up coming back. But anyway,
it's insane how the time slots affect all that stuff.
Dude, unbelievable. Think about that. I mean, like Seinfeld almost got whacked early. That became one of the most successful shows ever.
So big show that's popped up this year was Suits. I was a diehard original Suits watcher, and then it came out on Netflix.
It's bigger now than it was when it was originally on. I know. I watched it when it was originally on too.
I have my cousin texting me, and she's like, "Didn't you watch this before?" And I'm like, "Don't tell me you like this." I'm like, "I sat here and get suffered through. Oh, it's gonna get canceled season after season after season, and now everyone loves it. It's like, oh, here's a 9th season for you guys." I'm like, "This is bullshit."
I had somebody, who was it? I had somebody literally in the last week or two talking about Suits, and I'm like, "Why are you talking about Suits?" It's not still on, right? Like, why are you talking? Like, who's talking about Suits? I feel like I watched it a decade ago. Suits.
Yep.
Or something like that, right? And
probably
it's
like 8 years ago.
Right. Maybe not a decade, but you know what?
Yeah.
It feels like 2015, 2016, doesn't it?
It's probably. It had to end after I was done. Maybe not. I don't know.
All right. Let's see. And
19.
2011 through 2019. All right, so it started 13 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, but like after like season 5, they were like, "Oh, is season
Yeah.
6 coming back?" Then they get it renewed, and they did that like every year. It was like, "Oh," so like every season ended with like, "Oh, well, am I gonna get what happened?" Like, and now everyone on Netflix loves it. So it's like, "Oh, you guys can have a 9th final season." I'm like, "Yeah,
So they discovered Meghan Markle was in it because no one really knew what Meghan Markle was in, and she's gorgeous. She was beautiful on
oh
the
yeah."
show.
Yeah, so she was that like I knew her from that
Way
before I
before,
knew.
way before
Yeah,
that. Yeah, way before
yeah.
that. Agreed. Yeah, because of that show. You're right.
She was awesome in the beginning of that, and then they were like, "Oh, well, she can't do it anymore." And then so then they had to take off the main character, the main dude, because he's married to her, and they don't want to
Right.
like kill her.
Right,
So they were
right,
like,
right.
"Oh, we're just gonna go off." Like, I'm like, this is freaking
Yeah,
the Royals ruining my TV experience.
I was probably a regular Suits watcher for a season or so, and then I was, I would DVR it, and then I was
DVR'd
just like,
everything.
I never ended up catching up with the DVR or whatever. So Cheers, I've watched the first season, which was awesome. I'm trying to think what else I just, even if it's a show like Family Matters, which is terrible, but it's terrible good because it makes me feel good because it was when I was like in middle school and high school, and they're very easy shows to consume because they're 23 minutes if you go through everything. So yeah, I'm gonna start knocking out a couple of these classic TV shows. By the way, Cheers. I think I'd said this on here before. I literally I laugh out loud when I watch it, and it was filmed before a live studio audience. It was still during that era where they literally filmed it before a live studio audience. So I laugh out loud watching it. It's so funny. It's such a great show. Cheers. Now you can watch. How about you
Can't say I
rewatch
ever
Friends?
watched it.
No.
I don't feel like I need to rewatch Friends because it's like one of those shows that's on TV enough that I've seen so many episodes however many times at this point. I don't think
But
I
I
need to
don't
watch
remember.
it all the
Like
way through.
I watched Friends as it was one of the most popular TV shows when I was in high school, and all the girls, my high school girlfriend, they all watched it, and of course you knew the characters or whatever. But I was never really a regular watcher, and then I watched it in reruns like a lot of people did, right?
Yeah.
But I actually like just watching it and like from the start to be like, all right, this is how it started. I never remember any of that, right? I don't remember the first Cosby Show. The Cosby Show is my favorite show growing up. I don't remember how it started. I don't remember like the first seasons. That's why I don't know if you can get the Cosby Show like some of these other shows now.
Probably not.
But
Probably
yeah, like
not.
Night Court. Tim says Night Court. Man, Night Court was awesome. I love Night Court, and I would like to watch that from the very beginning too. John Larroquette's amazing. Harry Anderson was actually my buddy that I went to high school with. I played baseball with. Harry Anderson, who was a very funny comedian in the 80s, and he was the star of Night Court. He was friends with my buddy's dad, my buddy Jim Silcox. His dad, Grover Silcox, was a comedian, and he was on the original Morning Zoo, part of the original Morning Zoo on MMR. He was a contributor, and he knew Harry Anderson from doing comedy. So I was at a baseball game. We look over, and Harry Anderson's down the third baseline, watching because Jim was on my team. Maybe he was on the other team. Anyway, Night Court's a great one.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, it was so Thursday night NBC was Cosby Show, Different World, Cheers, and then Night Court. And Night Court didn't last through the whole duration, and LA Law was on at 10 o'clock. And then ER took over for LA Law when LA Law was done.
I think ER was like the first series I remember watching as a kid.
ER was a good show back in the day, especially when it first started.
ER and then Alias with Jennifer Gardner.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Alias, that's right. ER was a good one.
Not that I remember anything that happened, but I remember sitting down and watching those shows every week.
King of Queens.
I like King of Queens.
Sucks.
It's like whatever. It's good trash TV.
Yeah, I'm just probably a generation too much, and I look at Frank Costanza as Frank Costanza. The fact that they tried to make him a dad that lives in the basement in Queens, you have to use a different actor. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Yeah, he's kind of pigeonholed at that point.
Like, come on, you can't take one of the best shows of all time. You're taking. I'm not, Frank Costanza. What's his name? Jerry. Stiller. If they want to, that's fine. He's an actor. He wants to earn money. That show sucks for sure.
Yeah,
Home Improvement. See, I wouldn't
I liked
rewatch
Home
Home
Improvement.
Improvement. I liked
I
it
liked
too,
Home
but
Improvement.
I wouldn't rewatch it. Those kids are annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of these old shows I wouldn't rewatch again. I was at, now that you think, did you watch Gilligan's Island?
Of course I did.
I remember watching that on like TV Land as a kid and loved that show. I wonder how bad I would think it is now.
I don't think you'd think it was bad. You probably think it's the exact same thing.
I would consider running that one back.
I would definitely watch Gilligan's Island. Gilligan's Island was great. They have a season where it's black and white.
Did they really?
Yeah, there's at least one season where it's black and white. Yep. Kirk Douglas was in. He was like played like he was like a Tarzan or something. There's in the trees. My grandfather actually reminded me of the skipper. My dad's dad, Pop. Kind of looked like Alan Hale Jr., like the skipper. Always reminded me of him. I love, man, Gilligan's Island. Now we're talking. I mean, Christ, Leave It to Beaver. I watch all these shows. I'd rather watch all these shows than on any of these new shows. That's like so cool. You know why?
Gilligan's Island was only 3 seasons?
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't a big smash success. I think it became bigger in reruns and stuff than it was actually when it went first run. But here's another reason why, right? Now with all these shows, right? Like there's got to like they have to be like, all right, well, we have to have the actress nude, and there has to be like a sex scene, a gratuitous sex scene. I don't want a sex scene in a TV show that I'm watching. All right, I know where to go if I'm looking for a sex scene. I'm not interested in that.
Well, so my thing is, it's like every new show has like a same-sex couple, or like it has to have something like that. Like I'm like I get it. Like, come on, like it's I don't feel like it's like as necessary to force it in the shows. And I feel like every show has like some storyline like that now.
Yep. Yeah. No, I know. I agree. I can't stand it. That was Wonder Years, for the Fred Savage show. Wonder Years. Yeah. Oh, Marianne for sure. Not that Ginger wasn't attractive. How about this one? Would you with Lovey?
Who's Lovey?
Thurston Howell III's wife. See, you don't know Gilligan's Island like I do.
No, I watched it when I was like 8.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm very well acquainted with Gilligan's Island. Yes, Lovey was Lovey she. Thurston Howell the third.
I'll have to see if I can find it. I'll have to see if I can find it. And
well, she's like 70 years old with white hair.
No, I'm saying find Gilligan's Island and run it back.
Oh, I don't know. See, like the thing about like Cheers, for example. Cheers is thought to be the first comedy that each show wasn't independent of themselves. You understand what I mean? Like shows back then, it was like Gilligan's Island. Everything was a one-off. Previous shows, unless there was a 2-part episode, nothing like there was
no overlapping storyline.
Nothing. There was no overlapping storylines. It was just like one episode. Cheers actually had recurring characters that would come on and off the show. Even Seinfeld really, like, they were all one-offs for the most part. You had recurring characters, but there wasn't a lot of forward momentum with these shows. Yeah, Gilligan's Island. What was Lovey's name? I didn't even know. It was Natalie Schaefer. Lovey. Yeah, I loved Gilligan's Island. All those shows that when you're off of school and you're sick, and there wasn't a lot on TV back then. So you had the Munsters, which is tremendous. The Munsters. And McHale's Navy. So you'd get McHale's Navy, which was terrible. Hogan's Heroes, which was like, it was watchable. Black and white. Same with McHale's Navy. And you would get Gilligan's Island. I always like Gilligan's Island the most.
Well, Amazon's beating you over the head to watch it. Freaking $3 an episode, or $28 or $29 for the season.
For what?
For season 1 of Gilligan's Island.
Seriously? No, you can find that on.
I'm sure I can find it somewhere. It was the first thing I clicked, and I'm like, that's a racket. So
check out Rescue from Gilligan's Island. It's after the show was over. And you have an older professor and Gilligan and Skipper. They look washed up. I think Thurston Howell III made it. Anyway, so pick a classic TV show. and watch it. That's my challenge to everybody. I could not watch MASH.
Wow.
It was too slow for me.
I love MASH.
It's too slow for me.
Oh, I think my parents watch MASH. We would like watch it during dinner. I would find it hilarious.
Uncle, it was hugely successful, very funny. I don't know.
Alan Alda, right?
Alan Alda, yeah, yep. Oh yeah, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye is a pisser, man.
Right.
The little guy with the glasses. Oh my god.
See, I didn't. Uncle Jamie was a huge
Sonar.
MASH fan.
I think they called him Sonar.
Look at you with the MASH knowledge, man.
I've watched it enough.
Wow. All right. Well, there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of shows up here that I'm not going to be rewatching. Yes, that was what's his name? Bob Crane got brutally murdered in Hollywood. It was thought that he was videotaping his adventures with women, and someone got pissed or whatever.
If you're looking for a show to watch, though, a one season show on Hulu, Accused was awesome. I watched that last year live. It was I think it was a Fox show. It's interesting. There's one episode. I think it's the third or fourth episode. Might have been the best episode of TV I've ever watched.
No way.
Yeah. And I was like the whole time I was just like, no shit. Oh my god, no shit. Like, there's no way. Wait,
so
what?
This has only had one season so far.
Yeah, only one season. I think it's actually only going to be one season, unfortunately. But
yes, Accused has been renewed for a second season. By
Fox.
Fox.
Nice. Let's go. It's really good. It's again, it's not a repetitive show like every show is independent of itself, but it's like all like ensemble cast. Like, so they bring in new actors.
So this is Malcolm Jamal Warner's in this. This is the Theo from the Cosby Show. I know the show you're talking about. His name's Kendall on the show. He's the brother. I don't know. I've never seen it.
It's really good.
Is that the dude from?
That's what I'm saying. So none of the each episode is a new cast.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh wow! All right, that's interesting.
Every single episode is a new cast.
Huh. All right.
So hypothetically speaking, let me see. Well, I might have an ad here. Go away.
And by the way, Justin in Tennessee, I'm gonna have to Three's Company. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to find it where it is from season 1. That is laugh out loud comedy. Very, very funny. Mr. Fred, the Ropers are unbelievable. Stanley, the Ropers is a great show too. I could watch the Ropers. Very, very underrated show. Three's Company is amazing. At least when Chrissy was in her prime. Yes.
Yeah, if you watch season 1, episode 3 of Accused, and you tell me that episode isn't one of the best TV shows you ever watched,
really?
I don't know what to tell you. I rewatched it I watched it live and then rewatched it right afterwards. So I was like,
really?
I can't believe it. Yeah, it was that good. Yep. So and you don't have to watch the first 2 episodes to understand it. You can just watch it.
His mother's former hospice caretaker is dating his father. All right. There you go.
It's nuts. It's wild.
I will have to check it out. All right. Well, I'm going to continue watching Cheers. I know it's probably very, very exciting to people out there. Actually, I've caught up on everything. My DVR is pretty much empty at this point.
Yeah, my DVR goes into overdrive during fall and winter for sure.
Yeah, there's not a ton of the Deadliest Catches has new episodes these days, which I've been watching.
Well, the last few years there haven't been like those random like summer shows like that would just like they would like test run because of all the between COVID and the SAG Screen Actors Guild strike.
So now you're feeling the effects of that. Yeah.
Right. So there's none of those shows being put out.
Right. Did you ever watch the show Arthur?
No.
You're a little bit young for that.
Yeah,
that was
I remember it, but not to like.
I didn't watch I was probably in like high school when it came out, or even done with school. But what plays on PBS, like I try to get my kids to watch, like There's a show Tots that's out there. It's actually like a couple years old now, but like just stabbed me with a pencil right in the ear or the eye. I can't take it anymore. I've been through like 2 kids and now the third. Every morning she's up. I'm like, what do you want to watch? Tots. Like, how about Sesame Street? No. Starts screaming at me. So I've tried to find other shows on PBS that just isn't here. Here's a friggin' like here's applesauce. Here's mush for your brain. Right? So Arthur has been on PBS. It's Y Kids. So it's like Channel 12, but it's another station where they just play the kids shows. And Arthur's been on there. And
is he the brown? Is he the brown like long head?
I think he's an anteater. Yes.
Yeah.
Or an aardvark or something. I don't know. But
I kind of remember it.
Arthur's not bad at all. But I've been recording Arthur, and I tried Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Oh, I love Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Yeah, but that's a little bit dated. Like when you know,
probably
somebody who's born in 2021, and you're like, here's Clifford the Big Red Dog, and it looks like a little. A little bit.
Should they be into like Paw Patrol or whatever?
I can't.
Or...
The bigger girls don't like Paw Patrol, and I can't take it. So I don't try to offer it to Bella because I don't want to watch Paw Patrol anymore. I've already done that. Bluey is like so much. Bluey has been watched over the last however many years. I can't take that anymore. And that's very well done. And then,
I was a SpongeBob kid.
And they still, like SpongeBob was when that's like my cousin. Yeah, like you guys are around the same age. But I was, so Mr. Rogers, so you never watched Mr. Rogers, right?
I did a little bit.
But you know of him, but I doubt that you watched a ton of Mr. Rogers.
I never liked it when I was like, whenever it was on when we were kids, I'm like, this show sucks.
Yep. Yeah, no. So I tried to, because there's pretty much Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers when I was little. And then there was like Bugs Bunny. There was the older cartoons. Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, the Flintstones, Mr. Rogers.
Flintstones was awesome.
Yeah. Mr. Rogers. So like, I don't really remember Mr. Rogers other than it's like, yeah, of course I love Mr. Rogers, right? So I went on YouTube. No, actually I didn't on YouTube. At 6 a.m. on Channel 12 on Saturday, something like that, they would play Mr. Rogers, some of the old, classic ones. He's not alive anymore. And so I DVR'd it. And I put it on. I was so excited. I'm like, hey, let's watch Mr. Rogers. It's this show when I was little. Oh, and they're like, yay, daddy, yeah. So I turned it on. Man, I felt like I needed a dose of acid or something. Or like a bong hit that made me like, almost like I was on mushrooms. Because it was really fucking weird. Really creepy weird. And they watched it. We were watching it for 5 minutes. Like, Daddy, I don't want to watch this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't either. Let me turn it off. It was weird, man. Really, really weird. So this is the last time we watched Mr.
You can't go back and ruin the nostalgia of some things.
Nope. No, it's true. But like Sesame Street they still put out new episodes. When we get to new episodes. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. And it's pretty much like the same show. Elmo has obviously taken over Sesame Street. It's all about Elmo. But
were you a Barney guy?
Way after my time. No Barney. No, that was probably no. I don't even know when that would have been.
What about some Teletubbies?
I know that I love you. You love me. Teletubbies. No, I have even less knowledge of that.
That was after me too.
Yeah.
That show was weird. That show was weird. Apparently, like the Teletubby baby that was like the son is like 25 now or something like that. I'm like, tell me you're old without telling me you're old.
Wow. Justin in Tennessee DVRs Three's Company every day. All right, I'm on. I gotta find it. IFC. I have that. All right. Anyway. So I will not be on Thursday. I will be in Cape May.
I'll be going to a concert anyway, so I was gonna.
What concert?
Sam Hunt.
Who's that?
Country guy. Down in Camden.
Did you watch when you go to the country concerts? You wear a cowboy hat?
I do. Of course I do. It's funny actually. I got the cowboy hat. Fuck. Is that when we were working for Oh my god, it had to be with WIP when did Beasley own XTU at the time when you went over to WIP?
No, no,
Or
no.
was that with the Fanatic?
Beasley did not own XTU. I believe XTU was sold to Beasley after I left.
Okay, so I think it was one I was at the Fanatic. We had to work the anniversary show for XTU, and
Right.
I couldn't stand country at that point. And they're like, oh, you got to work it, whatever. I was like, all right, fine. So go and work it, and it was miserable. It was hot. It's like they're giving us bullshit to do, like oh, go do this. It's like cool. It took me 3 minutes to do it. Now what do you want me to do? Like you have me here 8 hours before the freaking concert, and you don't have enough for us to do. I'm just like I ended up just pacing back and forth to make it look like I was doing something. But so the lady who's running it knew I couldn't stand country, and was like giving me shit, and I'm like, whatever. Like I'm sorry. Like you made me work this. Like I don't know what you want me to tell you. So I'm talking to the vendor, and the vendor's like, "Oh, I'll sell you a hat for $20." And I'm like, "All right, bet, like done. Like I'll take a hat for $20." Show up to the next meeting that we had that day with the cowboy hat, and the chick loved me after that.
Really?
She's like, this is someone who's like embracing it, and this and she gave me like all like the good jobs the rest of the night. It was great.
Ah, if you're looking,
so I still rock that hat.
If you're looking for something fun, let me see. Lambeau Field, Kenny Chesney, police scanner. Forget who had it. It was on Deadspin. I knew it. So someone recorded the police scanner for a Kenny Chesney concert at Lambeau in 2015, and it's fucking funny, man.
The guy who doesn't give a shit about anything?
I just remember listening to it and being, and it was amazing. It's just highly intoxicated male shits his pants, multiple calls.
Oh, Jesus.
Highly intoxicated male picking fights with everybody. Highly intoxicated male puking and falling on people. Belligerent fan spilling beer. Intoxicated male foaming at the mouth. A male party has a nose injury and gets tased. Huge fight breaks out near the Lambeau Pro Shop. Male is groping women. It's like just over and over and over again, and you listen to the calls, and it's funny.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I haven't been to a. I'm not a big live music guy in the big venues. Smaller venue. When I say smaller, I'm not even like no fucking way I want to go to. What's the place on not Willow Street, but it used to be the Electric Factory, whatever it's called now.
Oh,
I forget the new name of it.
I don't.
But like I'm out. Even a crowd that size, I don't. I'm out. I don't need.
I haven't been there. I haven't been there since I was high school.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time. I think I saw the Beatnuts. The last concert I was at, and this was a long time ago. Obviously, it was the Beatnuts at the Electric Factory, which was an awesome concert. But yeah, like I've been to Camden a ton of times. I hate going there. I hate parking there. I hate going into there. But it's the only place to go unless they're going to the sports complex, which the big concerts do. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we're not doing the lawn by any means anymore. We're gonna.
No, you got seats.
Yeah.
Man.
Sorry, drunk high school kids aren't my forte.
No.
My
How many times have you seen Dave Matthews concert?
I went once in high school because I thought I was like, oh, everyone goes to this every year. I'm like it's got to be good. So I go and I'm like, this blows. Like this, I don't care that I can drink. Like I did not need to be here to drink underage. It's good. I can do a lot of the better things underage drinking.
A lot of better things. So I probably saw Dave Matthews twice, and
one and done. I never listened to another
because of a chick.
I've never listened to another one of his songs again after that concert.
Yeah, me neither.
This sucks.
My buddy Nick McElvain, who works on Preston and Steve's show, he travels around to see. He's a huge Dave Matthews fan. He travels all over to see the shows and shit. I just couldn't. I know he's a great musician and does great live music and blah 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 blah. It's just you would have to pay me hundreds, if not more, to go to one of those concerts. Probably, yeah. But anyway, all right. Well, listen. So next week, One of those days. So look out for when we'll do it. It could be on Monday. It could be a Thursday. It could be midweek. Hell, maybe Herb would call in. Herb's mad at me because I won't let him come to my house. So I can't get him. I can't. I've been trying to do. I'm like Herb. I'll just do it whenever. Like we don't have to do it at 9:00 at night. Yeah, I'm busy. Then he'll like call me and I'll answer, and then he'll call me the next day, and I'm like, I don't need to be talking to this fucking guy every day, man. So
He just wants his time to shine, buddy.
I know, but like I can't. He's not coming to my house. I can send him your way, Delco Steve.
No. If you're not having them, I'm not having them. You know him better than me.
Yeah, it's just I got 3 kids. So I don't need her walking around my house. You don't need her walking around my house.
I'll go steal 3 kids to say I have 3 kids. I'll be asking my friends, can I borrow your kids so I can act like I have kids so Herb can't come to my house?
All right, everybody. See Justin from Tennessee. He'll be at Chigs and Pete's on Friday, hanging out with the guys, and say hi. When Justin was there doing football season, I've never seen more people come out for a broadcast. I'm not kidding either. People were like, I just stopped. I had to say hi to Justin from Tennessee. It was unbelievable. He was so humbled that so many people were coming in there. No one ever came to see me like that, Delco Steve. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, you piss everybody off. That's the complete different story.
Well, listen.
Okay.
Less people saw. More people came in for Justin than Brandon Graham on some nights. I'm not kidding. It was unbelievable. Like he was.
Brandon Graham's there every week. Justin's only there once every. He
was signing boobs and everything. It was unbelievable. It's like he was a rock star.
Good for you, Justin.
Oh man! All right, Justin. Enjoy the Phillies. Enjoy Philly, man.
And Tennessee totally robbed Florida State, by the way.
Yeah, he was
bullshit.
texting me. He was texting me. I know you're still
bullshit.
Can't sleep over the Vols winning the College World Series.
Bullshit.
But, all right, everybody, enjoy. I might jump on before the end of the week if I can corral Herb, but if not, we'll talk to you next week live from Ocean City, New Jersey. Delco Steve. Oh no, that's right. I played the music as we go out here.
Our duck pond.
Yeah, here it is. There it is. Gotta fade it up. There it is. It's the longest broadcast, so I had to stop in the middle. All right, dude, enjoy the concert on Thursday night. I need pictures of you in a cowboy hat, all right?
Sounds good.
Put them on your Instagram, Escalo33.
They'll be up.
Everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, but if you're not, go over to YouTube, subscribe, John Marks Media, like, comment on the episodes, and be well. Talk to you later.
Peace.